Today, we're diving into something super important for life, that is transport systems. Because whether you're a human or a plant, your cells are pretty demanding. They want water, nutrients, oxygen, and they definitely need waste taken out. Cells are basically tiny biological divas. Now here's the problem. Diffusion works great if you're microscopic. But once you become a multicellular organism, diffusion alone is just too slow. It would take forever for oxygen to reach all your cells. So what's the solution? Internal transport systems powered by mass flow. And even though plants and mammals both need transport systems, they solve this problem in very different ways. Let's start with mammals. Mammals have what's called a closed double circulatory system. Closed meaning blood stays inside vessels, double meaning blood passes through the heart twice in one full trip around the body. And speaking of the heart, try clenching your fist. That's roughly the size of your heart, but don't underestimate it. It works non-stop. The heart has four chambers, two atria on top and two ventricles on the bottom. The right and left sides are completely separated, which is important because we don't want oxygen-rich and oxygen-poor blood mixing. There are two main loops. The first loop, which is pulmonary circulation, where blood flows from the heart to the lungs and back again to the heart. The second loop, also called the systemic circulation, where the blood continues to flow from the heart to the body and back again to the heart. Now don't let yourself be confused with all this. Just remember, PHLH, pulmonary, heart, lungs, heart, and SHBH, systemic, heart, body, heart. That separation allows high pressure delivery of oxygen to tissues. Your circulatory system is basically a biological highway network. So how does blood actually move? Through three types of vessels. First, the arteries, second, veins, and third, the capillaries. The arteries carry blood away from the heart. High pressure, thick muscular walls, super elastic. The largest artery, the aorta, literally stretches a bit every time your heart beats. Next, the veins that carry blood back to the heart. Low pressure, thinner walls, but they have something special, the valves. Those valves prevent blood from flowing backward, especially in your legs where blood has to fight gravity. Without those valves, blood pooling, which is not ideal. Lastly, the capillaries. These are tiny, like really tiny, that is only one cell thick. The red blood cells or RBCs actually have to squeeze through in a single file. And this is where the real exchange happens. Oxygen goes out, nutrients go out, and waste comes back in. It's like trading stations but make it microscopic. Now that we know the component of the heart and how the blood flows through our body, what is in our blood anyways? The blood has two main components, the plasma and the blood cells. Plasma is mostly water. It carries nutrients, hormones, and waste. Suspended in the plasma are red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. The red blood cells are packed with hemoglobin. Each hemoglobin molecule can carry 4 oxygen molecules. And here's a cool number. Each red blood cell has about 280 million hemoglobin molecules. That's a lot of oxygen delivery power. When carbon dioxide levels rise in tissues, oxygen is released more easily. This is called the Bohr effect, and extremely useful during exercise. On the other hand, the white blood cells serve as our immune defenders. The white cells that are particularly important are the lymphocytes, which form antibodies, and the monocytes, which are phagocytic, meaning they ingest bacteria or cell fragments. This include the macrophages in the alveoli of the lungs. Some injuries result in bleeding, and the platelets help prevent it through blood clotting, which serves as a temporary plug. This makes the platelets part of our body's first line of defense. It's fascinating how our blood is basically multitasking constantly. The heart functions through a sequence called the cardiac cycle, which lasts approximately 0.8 seconds at a resting heart rate of about 75 beats per minute, in which each beat has two phases. First, the systole for contraction, and second, the diastole for relaxation. And here's something amazing. The human heart has a myogenic origin. That means it generates its own rhythm. The sinoatrial node, also called the pacemaker, starts the signal. Its activity is regulated by the autonomic nervous system. The sympathetic nerve increases heart rate while the vagus nerve decreases it. That's why our heart beats faster when you're nervous. As adrenaline increases the rate, the human heart is basically self-starting but adjustable. At the capillaries, hydrostatic pressure pushes fluid out to form tissue fluid. Nutrients diffuse into cells, while waste products diffuse back into the blood. Most tissue fluid eventually returns to the capillaries, while some enters the lymphatic system before rejoining the circulation. So the circulatory system isn't just about oxygen, but it also handles temperature regulation, waste removal, internal communication through hormones, and defense against disease. It's like a full-service delivery system. Now let's move on to transport in plants. Unlike mammals, plants do not have a central pump such as a heart. Instead, transport occurs through two specialized tissues, the xylem and the phloem. These tissues form vascular bundles that extend throughout the roots, stems, and leaves. The xylem transports waters and mineral ions from the roots to the aerial parts of the plant. Xylem vessels are non-living lignified tubes connected end to end. Water movement in the xylem is driven by transpiration, which is the loss of water vapor from leaves through stomata. As water evaporates from leaf surfaces, tension is created within the xylem. This tension pulls a continuous column of water upward from the roots to the leaves. The cohesion between water molecules and their adhesion to xylem walls help maintain this continuous column. This mechanism is known as the transpiration stream. The rate of transpiration is influenced by environmental factors such as temperature, humidity, wind, and water availability. Additionally, transpiration helps cool the plant and facilitates the upward transport of mineral ions. Did you know that on a hot day, a large tree can lose hundreds of liters of water through transpiration? Stomatal opening and closing regulate water loss. Guard cells become turgid when potassium ions accumulate inside them through active transport. This lowers their water potential, causing water to enter by osmosis. As the guard cells swell, the stomatal pore opens. When guard cells lose water and become flaccid, the pore closes. In contrast to xylem transport, phloem transport involves living cells. The phloem transports manufactured food or sugars, primarily sucrose and amino acids. Sugars produced in the leaves during photosynthesis are transported from the source regions to sink regions, such as growing tissues or storage organs. According to the mass flow hypothesis, sugars move from areas of high hydrostatic pressure at the source of areas of low hydrostatic pressure at the sink. This process requires energy and functioning living cells. Basically, xylem is for the transport of water and many ions, while phloem is for the manufactured foods or sugars. So let's trace back. Mammals have a closed system, heart pump, blood transport, double circulation, while the plants have no pump, xylem for water, phloem for sugars, and pressure gradients and transpiration. These are different structures but with the same goal, deliver what the cells need and remove what they don't. Because whether you're a human or a plant, cells still want their supplies. And that's transport in action. Thank you for listening.